the slide number 3 now. So why automated testing, right? So functional testing basically started with the proposal that we treat a program as a function, and when we treat program as a function, there will be like to test it, we need to feed inputs to it and check it for its output value, right? That's what a function does. It takes an input and returns an output. So if you take a look at today's business scenario, the business environment is putting more and more pressure on the testing organizations, and testing organizations need to reduce the cost, right? And not just cost, they need to also maintain the same quality, because customers are not going to accept a low quality product. At the same time, they need to reduce the cost by delivering more and more product in a very short span of time, right? So let's try and see the situation with a graph in front of you, which basically depicts the relationship between the number of tests and the time it takes to run those tests, right? And in a manual environment, if you run all your tests in a build, right? For example, in case here you see build 1, right? It takes a certain amount of time to run those tests. And when a second build appears, then you need to rerun the first test, right? So can you put a click here, so it will bring the next screenshot. So please click on this slide.
I'm on the rational functional tester, the basics page. Is that the right page? Is that the right slide?
No, why automated testing? Challenges of manual testing in short cycle.
Hold on. Okay then. Yeah, why automated testing? I'm on that slide.
It should show the full screen now.
Yeah, full screen it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me know when you want me to move on to the next slide.
So now, no, not wrong. I just wanted to click on it so that it brings up the full picture. So if you take a look at this picture, you can see the situation, how the situation is moving from left to right, as in when the new build is coming. So the new test which we have added will require new functionality, right, which need to be tested as part of the build 2 itself. So apart from rerunning the same test which you run in the build 1, you need to now run the new test. So which will definitely require more time. And more and more, right, as and when the build 3, 4 and 5 comes, you can see the continuation of the proper process where exactly it is taking us, right? So it proves that manual testing definitely can't keep pace within an iterative environment. And where does the difficulty lies in this, right? The difficulty basically lies in the amount of time each test cycle takes versus the speed at which the development delivers the new builds, right? In this example, as I explained, the QA group basically starts a test cycle on build 3, but before they are finishing with the build 3 cycle, like build 4, 5 are already there, right? So those builds are getting wasted. Nobody is using them, nobody is testing them, right? And the problem here is that one thing we can say, because of the iterative cycle, but we all know, right, iterative cycle is the future, so that definitely we cannot ignore. So what is the solution basically? The solution is how we can automate. Is it possible to reduce the human labor in order to test the particular build? So that now let's look at how the automation tools helps us. So moving on to the slide number 4. So rational functional tester is an automated functional and regression testing tool for teams which are accountable for the long-term quality of their applications, right? And it is also the next generation tool for the rational robot. it ensures that when you use this tool for testing your application, it tests for whether the application works, right? It addresses basically the challenges of the functional testing that we discussed in the previous slides. So for example, it minimizes the test maintenance by creating the scripts which are resilient to the application changes. For example, it uses the object-oriented technology to identify the objects and not by recognizing the objects using the screen coordinates, right? So even if the location of your of a GUI object or text of an object changes, RFT